Hi everyone, welcome to channel Qtomation. In today's session, we will see how to upload file by using Rest Assured and also file download scenario. So sometimes we have to upload file and we have to check whether that file is successfully uploaded or not via API. So let's see via Postman also how we can upload the file first, and then we will see by using Rest Assured how we can upload the file via API and verify the same. So first we need some sample API by which we can upload the file. So I am going to use one demo API. So this is present on this website. They have provided this sample API by which we can upload a file. So what I have to do is I will just take this endpoint. This is the URL of that API. If you see their website, they have given this is a API and it is a post request. Inside this, we have to use content type as multipart slash form data, and after file upload, it will give you response like this, in which there will be a original name, that is the file name. So whatever file we are going to upload, that is coming in the response. File name parameter, which is basically a randomly generated file name, which is written in the response. And it will also give you location where that file is uploaded. So after you hit the post request with that file, it will be stored in the server. So that location it is given in the response. This is a sample response. But now let's upload via Postman first. So now I am going to create a new request in Postman. Let's see, in my sample collection, I am going to create a new request. What is the type of request? It is a post request. I am just pasting that URL. So we have to hit this post request with this URL and we are going to upload the file. So for that, what we have to do is, once you go to header section or let's say parameter section, we have to add one parameter. So what we have to do is, first of all, in body, so in body, we have to select form data. So whenever we are using post request, we have to give some body. Inside the body, now we are going to upload the file. So for that, in Postman, you have to select this body option. And here we can put file as a parameter. Let's select the file option here. And inside the values, we have to upload the file. So I'm just going to select this option. It will give you options to select new file from your local machine. So what I have done is, in local machine, I have created one file abcde.txt. And when I open this file, I have added some text content in this file. So this is a file which I am going to upload via API. So Qtomation is the text content present inside this abcde.txt file. Now what we have to do is we have to simply go to Postman, click on select files, new file from local machine and select that file. So we have used this endpoint with post request. Inside body, we have to select file and then we have to select file name here. And if you send this, it will give you the response. What is the status code that is coming? So for this endpoint, when we are uploading the file, it is giving you 201 created in success response code. So that is also we will verify via rest assured. What else we are getting in the response? Original name. Original name is basically name of the file which I have uploaded. There is one more parameter, that is file name, and this file name is randomly generated. There is one more parameter, that is location. This location is basically location at the server. So if you see, this is URL. If you open this URL, it will show you the file content. So if you simply take this URL, Control C, and if I open this URL on my browser, it will show me the file content. If you see, this is a file content. So it is as equivalent as downloading the file. So if you hit the get request with this location, it will give you the file content in the response. But if you see this previous request, that is for file upload, if I hit again, it will give you new file name, and the location will also change. So that is randomly generated file name, and it is stored on this specific location. Original name is not changing, it will remain the same. So now this is how we can upload the file in Postman. So we are hitting the post request in which we are sending file to the server. Now this file is getting uploaded on this location. If you click on this location, it will download that file, or we can simply see the file content. And this is a success response which we are getting. So if you are getting this response, that means file is successfully uploaded at this location. So now the same scenario or same requirement we will perform via REST assured API automation. So by using REST assured, we can also upload the file, we can validate the response, and we can also download the file. Downloading means we can simply check this location URL as a new request, as a GET request, and we will verify whether data is correctly coming or not. So we will see both the scenarios now practically. So first, I hope you have understood how to upload a file via Postman. So in this, we have to use post request with this endpoint. We have to select file. In body, we have to select file as a key, and then we can select the file from your local machine, and then we can send the request. It will give you 201 created in a response, and this is a response body. So this is one of the sample API which I will use to upload the file via REST assured as well. So first step is, let's go to Eclipse. Inside the Eclipse, I will create a new file. Let's create a new file. I'm naming it as file upload demo, not the file. So we have made the mistake. We don't have to create the file, actually we have to create a class. So I will again, let's create a new class. What is the class name we have to provide? Let's say file upload demo. So that is a class file which we have created. Now inside this file upload demo, we have to create a test. First of all, we have to create a test. So I will just simply create the first test, that is test file upload scenario. So that is a method which we have created as a test. We have to use @test annotation. Let's import testng annotations package, and also we can provide static imports in our system. So to use REST assured, we need static imports as well. So I'm just importing those. Control C, and I am pasting in my file. Now let's see how we can utilize rest assured to upload the file. So first of all, what we have to do is the file which we want to upload. For that we have to create one file object. So file is a class present in Java only. So I am just creating first one file object in which we have to provide path of the file which we want to upload via API. So how to find the path? So I am just copying the path of that file which I want to upload. So this is a path of the file which I will be uploading via API. Let's import the packages file from java.io. So we can name it as, let's say, my file. So file, my file. So my file contains the file path which we want to upload via API. That is the first step. Now our regular syntax for rest assured, that is given when and dot then section. Now when we have to upload the file, what is the endpoint we are going to use? What is the endpoint we are going to use now? This is the endpoint. So I will just copy this endpoint and we have to use it in when section dot post. Post is a request type. In this I am just copying this URL. Now we have used post for this URL, but when we are uploading file via rest assured, in given section also we have to provide something. First of all, in given section we have to provide the content type. When we are uploading the file, if you see, what is the content type it is using? So if you see this website as well, they have said that we have to use content type is multi-part slash form data. So let's use this content type. Content type multi-part slash form data. So that is the content type which we have to use. After that, so let me just quickly check it out. So content type, given section you have to provide content type as multi-part slash form data, and next thing we have to provide in given section is dot multi-part. In this we have to pass the file as parameter, and after that we have to provide this my file object which we have created, which contains the file path. So in given section we have added two things: content type, multi-part slash form data, and one more important thing is dot multi-part, in which we have to provide file as my file. So this my file contains this file path which we want to upload. And then we have used dot when section, which contains this endpoint with post type of request, and then we can validate the response. So once you hit this request, it will upload the file. And what type of response we will get? This is the response we will get. But in this response, what is the status code? 201. So let's validate that. In then section we can validate dot status code to be 201. What else we can validate? dot original file name, that is original name parameter. It will come as original file name only. So dot body, inside body we can verify original name parameter values should be abcde dot txt, but we have to use which method? Equal to. We have to use equal to method. In this we can check whether original name value is coming like this or not. So it will compare that value. That's it. So this is a simple test method which will upload the file. That is the file path here. We have created file object which basically stores this file path which we want to upload. In given section we have to use content type multipart slash form data. And one more important thing is dot multipart parameter. Dot multipart, in given section you have to provide this prerequisite whenever we are uploading the file. Multipart, in which we have to mention file and then this my file object, and then we are using when section in which we are passing that URL with post type of request, and in then section we will validate the response. So status code should be 201, body original name should come as abcde.txt, and now there is one more parameter, that is file name. But if you see, this file name value is changing on every request. Whenever we are hitting the request again and again, the file name is changing. So I'm not going to use this file name for validation. We are just validating this original name. That's it. And status code. File location is also coming, that we will use in our next example. Now what we have to do is we can simply hit this request and we can see whether test case is getting passed or not. So let's execute this test case as test-ng test. So this test case is running now, and if you see, test case is successfully passed. That means we are able to validate it. Now if you want to intentionally fail this, so let's say instead of 201 I am mentioning 200. Let's save this and let's execute this. Run as test-ng test. This time it will fail because response code which will come as 201, but we are comparing with 20 in our code. So that's why it is failing. So let's change it back to 201. And also for file name also we can check. Let's say I am putting some random text here. Now it will again fail because of file name, original name. So in response we are getting original name as abcde.txt, but in code I have intentionally changed it to this one. So that's why it is mismatching and it is failing now. So let's again change it back to original. So this is a simple scenario of uploading a file. Now we can also check. Now what is my requirement is file upload we have checked. So now here we have used dot then section, but we can also use response type of variable to store the response and then perform the validations. So what I will do in our next scenario, now my next scenario is I want to check whether after hitting this request I am getting this location. I want to download this file, or let's say I want to verify the content of the file is correct or not. So what I have to do is I have to simply hit this endpoint in get request. So if you simply hit this endpoint in get request, you will see the file content in body, that is Qtomation, that we have added in our file which we have uploaded. So it will verify our file download as well. So whenever we hit this as a get request, the location, or we can say the URL which is written by after uploading the file. Once you upload the file, you will get this location URL, and that location URL is basically, if you validate, if you hit that as a get request, it will show you the text content which is present in that file. So that will validate download scenario as well. or verification of content scenario as well. But here there is, we have to understand that this file name is getting appended randomly after these files in this URL. So every time you hit the request, it generates a new file name. So for that, let's see how we can handle this. So what I will do is, again I will go back to Eclipse. I will just make some changes in the test file upload test case. So first, let's see, I will just give you, let's say priority equal to 1. Let's save this. This is also perfectly fine. File upload scenario we have already checked here. Now we are performing file content verification, whether whatever file we have uploaded, we are getting one location or URL for that uploaded file. Then we are checking, whenever we are downloading that file, you will click that URL, and after that you should see the content correctly, whatever was present in the file. So for that, what I will do is, let's see, I'm just going to create one new method, void test file download. New method I have created. Again we have to use at the rate test priority equals to 2, because first we have to upload the file. After that file is uploaded, in response we will get this location that we have to capture and store somewhere, and the same location we have to pass as a URL in next get request. So the location which we will receive after hitting this endpoint here, after uploading the file, in response we will get that location that we have to capture and store, and that we have to pass in our next request as a get URL. So for that we have to make some small changes here. So I'm going to comment this then section. Instead of that, I will just store this response. So let's say I'm just going to use response type of variable. Let's import the response. In this response variable, we are storing. So we are still hitting the same URL. We are uploading the file. We are storing the entire response in response type of variable now. And after that, what we will do, from response also we can put different validations. So what I will do, I will just use assert dot, this we have already seen in our previous sessions as well. Assert dot assert equals, so from the response also we can perform the validations. For example, response dot get status code, so that we can assert. So assert dot assert equals response dot get status code. It should be 201. That is the first validation which we have added, which will verify the status code is 201 or not. And if I want to validate for file name, so let's say I'm just going to create one more variable, string original file name equal to, from response dot body we have to use JSON path dot JSON path dot get response dot JSON path dot get. Inside this get we have to pass which parameter we are going to capture, original name. So it will fetch the original name from the response, and we have to convert it to string format, and it will be stored. So what we are doing is, we have stored the response, then we are using .json path dot get original name, and we are converting it into string format. So this will be stored, abcde.txt will be stored in this org original file name. And then we can again use simple assertion assert equals this org file name should be abcde.txt. That is second validation which we have added. And now what we can do is we can store the file location as well. So what we have to do is, after uploading the file we are getting this location, so that we have to store, and we need to use that in our next request as well. So for that, what I will do, in my class I will create one string type of variable. Let's say string. I will create one string type of variable location. Let's say I'm naming it as file location, and this file location, from where we are getting this, after uploading the file in response that is present. So file location equal to response dot body. From body we have to fetch that. So again JSON path dot get, and what is the parameter name? If you see in the response, what is the parameter name? This is a location. So I'm just fetching this location, and again we have to use dot toString. So it will fetch that location value and it will store it in file location. So it will store it in file location, and it is at the class level. We have also created class level, so this file location will be assigned to this one. And now we can use this file location in another methods as well. So in our next method, that is for verifying the file content, or we can say downloading the file, there again we can use that as a endpoint. So what we have to do is, here again we have to use given dot when. This is our second method now. Given dot when dot then. Now here also we will not use dot then section, or it's fine, you can use or you cannot use, that is up to our decision. But what I will do, I will just use given and when section. We will store the response in the response type of variable res equal to, in given section we don't have to pass anything because we are using get request. So inside when section we can use dot get, and in this which parameter we have to pass now? In get section, this is the URL which we want to pass. So we have already stored this URL in this file location. So when you hit the first method, so when this first method will be executed, file upload method, what it will do, it will upload this file, it will get the response. In response we will receive this location. That means this is entire endpoint we will receive, and that location we are storing it in file location variable, and this I will use in our next request. So dot get, here we have to simply pass this file location. So it will pass this URL, it will pass this entire URL in this get request, and we are storing that response in response type of variable. We are storing that response in response type of variable, and from that response type of variable now we can fetch the content. So when you hit this endpoint as a get request, so if you see when you hit this endpoint as a get request, if you see here, even if it is generating new every time, for example let me just show you from the start. So let's say I'm just hitting the request, you will get this URL, then you will hit this URL with get request, you will hit this URL, and you will get the body content which is present inside that text file which is uploaded. Now we have to verify this text content. If that is verified, that means our file upload as well as download are working perfectly fine. So now what we have to do is, from response dot body, we have to convert it into a string format. So I'm just using as string method, and we can store that in file content variable. So I'm just creating one string type of variable, that is file content equal to res dot, that is response dot body dot as string. So it will convert entire response in the form of string, and that we are storing in file content. And after that we can simply use assert dot assert equals, this file content should be qtomation, that we have added in our test file, qtomation. So if you see, this is the text file which we are using, and this is the content which is present in that text file. So let's minimize. We can also verify the status code as well. So what is the status code we are receiving? 200. So we can also verify assert dot assert equals response dot status code, which should be 200. That is the first validation, and then we are checking file content in a string format, it should be qtomation. So that will verify file download scenario as well. So hitting this URL as a GET request is as equivalent as downloading that file. So first it will upload the file, and then it will verify the file content as well. Now let's execute both these methods. So if you see, let's execute this both methods, run as testng test. So both the test cases should pass now. If you see, both the test cases got passed. If you want to check by changing some content, so let's say instead of qtomation I am putting intentionally incorrect content. So what it will happen now? So in file content we will receive qtomation, but it will compare with this one. So it will fail the test case. Let's run as testng test. If you see, one test case got failed. File got uploaded, but when we are trying to validate the content, it is mismatching. So that's why the test case is failing. So again, let's add the correct content now, qtomation, and let's execute as a testng test. It should pass this time. Both the test cases are passed. So this is how we can work with file upload and file download scenarios. So I hope you have understood this. So what we have used, most important part, first of all we have to upload the file. So we have used file object, we have passed the path of the file which we want to upload. Then we are using, in given section we have to use content type as multipart slash form data with dot multipart, in which you have to pass that file. In when section we are hitting this post request. Along with the post request we have to validate. So after hitting this, it will send that file into post request. It will send you the response. In response we are getting status code as 201, that we are validating here, and from response we are also validating original name. So if you see, the original name parameter also we have validated, and we are storing this location. So this endpoint we are storing it because it will dynamically change. So we are storing this location in one file location variable because we need this for our next test case. So in next test what we are doing, we are verifying the file location which we have received. After uploading that file, we are just clicking on that, or we are hitting the get request to verify the content. It is as equal as downloading that file. So it will verify the content of that file is matching with actual file content or not. So this is how we can work with file upload and download scenarios in Rest Assured. So thanks for watching this video. In next session, we will see some more topics about Rest Assured. So thanks once again.